and gun violence. I've been shot before. My sisters have been shot before. That's not it. It just really isn't. You, and I'm not even talking about the money, but you put yourself in a position because first of all, you're not from the streets. So let's stop that. Let's just stop it. That's why people that are from the streets are kind of ticked off about his behavior because they would die to be in his shoes. And then he continue to put himself in this position. You don't do nothing but alienate these individuals and make them mad. When you having fun or whatever you're doing, but you out there looking real silly instead of saying, nah, you know what, that's not what I want to do. I just want to play basketball. He's a basketball player, and he needs to really, and there's people around him, they need to really get him to understand, man, you play basketball. You don't want that life right there, that club, guns, alcohol, that's not it. That's not it. You're going to squander $200+ million. You're gonna squander that. That's going to go away like this. Nobody comes back from that. These dudes in these streets that's playing, they playing for keeps, okay? They play for keeps in these streets. They not out here just listening to rap music and turning their lives into that. They already living that on a daily basis. I've been there. I've been in the streets. I know what it's like. That ain't it, man. It's just not. It's no. No, I'm good. That's what it is. And the people around him, they should be ashamed of themselves too, for even agitating it instead of saying, "No, man, that's not what we gonna do. We gonna go chill. We gonna be in a safe place." But for whatever reason, he keeps putting himself in this position. So now you're gonna be scrutinized all day long today. It's the start of the week. It's gonna go on all week long, Jay. You're gonna keep getting scrutinized because the first time around in the Denver incident, okay, he said he went down to Florida and he, went out and got a little help, had a conversation with some counselors. He's a changed person now. But then a month or two later, here we are again in the same situation, which is not it at all.
Come on, Key. I mean, I really appreciate you breaking down the severity of it, man. Freddie, when this whole thing popped off and, I came out and I was like, hey, look, I thought the league missed the mark. I got a lot of flack.
I remember.
A lot of people.
I remember.
A lot of people came at me hard. Like, what are you talking about? We're supposed to build each other up in the black community. I'm like, yeah, I'm all for that. I'm all for us building young people up. But this, to me, felt like a maturity issue. It was a maturity issue from somebody who's experienced in his own life maturity challenges. So, look, this is ongoing behavior that just needs to stop. And that's why the whole thing about going to rehab, I was like, you can lose me with all that. Just tell me the truth, that you wanted to rush him back for the NBA playoffs. I would have respected that at the end of the day, instead of trying to do all these things where I went down to rehab for 3 or 4 days. I'm like, that doesn't help you deal with the issue. That is smoke and mirror. You're just telling everybody that because this is a franchise that has enabled you to behave this way for a while. So from yesterday, watching the Memphis Grizzlies draw a line in the sand and say, okay, we're going to suspend him, I want to know for how long. Mm-hmm. And I'm also fascinated to see how Adam Silver is going to handle this. I truly believe John Morant should be suspended for 25 to 30 games of the regular season next year. There needs to be a hard line drawn about guns from the NBA. We've had school shootings. We've had a lot of things go up, and it's not a Second Amendment thing at all, because if you want to own a gun, I'm for that. But it's just when we've had talks with Ja and we've gone through this process, and now we get to a point where once again NBA YoungBoy drops a new video, and Freddie Key, that's why I said before, I'm like, yo, this is like as if we're filming a hip-hop video, because this is what people were seeing in hip-hop videos and flashing guns, but that's not the lifestyle, man. That's not the lifestyle that you want for your kid, for your daughter, that you have post-game. Like, why do you keep surrounding yourself in that environment when you have kids? Like, that's not the representation you need for yourself. So I think the league, I think Memphis, I think everybody should be lock in step, and they should set a strong example here about this should not be tolerated. By the league moving forward. It should not.
The interesting thing about Ja, and I don't know, but I'm assuming the Grizzlies, his agents, all that sort of stuff, they try to tell him stuff to get him to do things the right way. But I don't see, and I've never seen Michael Jordan act like that. Michael Jordan had security. You couldn't even, he was so big you couldn't even touch him. LeBron James, security. You can't, if LeBron James going out, he going out with his crew. They enjoying themselves, but there's a security team. So he doesn't even need a gun. He doesn't need the environment like that. When I look up and I see Kobe Bryant, or I've seen other guys that are big like Ja in that position, where's the security at, man? Where are your off-duty police officers, retired FBI, Secret Service, 3 or 4? Where are they at?
Right.
Because if he was my client, he would have all of those guys around him. He could still drink and party and listen to Young Boy, NBA, he could do all that. But it won't be no guns, because they gonna have the guns. They gonna take care of all of it. They got all that. But I guess maybe if you feel like you are less than a man, if you got protection around you and security, so you feel like you could take it and put it in your own hands. I'm just telling you, that's not it. I know I just saw a video that some gang members here in Los Angeles don't appreciate Ja's behavior. You see what I'm saying? So now you got them involved. Now they talking on a video stream live about his behavior and disrespect and throwing up the gang signs, and he ain't got nothing to do with that gang. He don't even know where that's at. Trust me. I mean, I'm not gonna speak on the gang who it is, but he doesn't know them people one bit. Trust me, I'm from here. And so they mad and agitated at him now. So he done escalated even more issues for himself.
Right.
You know, it's like they got to get a hold of him, man. They got to get a hold of him.
Real quick, and this is something I thought about when you guys were so eloquent what you had to say between you, Key, and Jay Will. 4 years ago, we had no idea who Ja Morant was. 2019 draft out of Murray State. I wonder how much of this is too much too soon, because he's from a small town in South Carolina called Dalzell, population not even 3,000 people. You could literally take his hometown and put it in your living room. That's how small it is. Seriously, I mean, somebody's living room. Let's put it that way. But that's how small. I know he got a big crib, no doubt about that. But 4 years ago, we had no idea who Ja Morant was. 4 years later, we're hearing about him for all the wrong reasons. And I wonder how much of this has become maybe a too much too soon, being from where he's from, not having the resources to know exactly how to deal with fame, with fortune, and having the right kind of people around him when he's trying to navigate this with a child and thinking everything else is going to be okay because maybe this is too much for Ja Morant to handle. That is something that a lot of people are not talking about, especially coming from a small town in South Carolina and going from literally zero to where he is right now in the public consciousness.
And that may truly be the case, Freddie. There's no question about it. Sometimes your environment and your upbringing will affect the way that you view things and see things. Me growing up here in South Central LA, being shot before, sister being shot, house being gunned down, Molotov cocktail bombs being thrown through the window. I've seen it all. So my approach to certain things is way different. It's way different because I've actually lived the life that he wants to live. You know, at least he portrays that's the life he want to live. Yeah. It's not it. Just trust me on that, man. It ain't it. That's Key, not
he ain't about that life at all, Key.
No, he's not.
That's not it at all.
It's a showcase of, yo, this is the life that is presented, and like so.
I can ride him around.
Right, we're gonna talk.
Go, yeah, because we up against it.
Oh, we up against it. We're gonna talk about this.
Finish your thoughts real quick.
There's a lot to still be said.
No, Freddie, we up against it. We got a new life right now, man. Let's go.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I feel like I'm on vacation, baby.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, Freddie Coleman, and from Max Kellerman on ESPN Radio and ESPN2 and ESPNU. We stay with Ja Morant, and even though he is a franchise player, has he become a liability for the franchise of the Memphis Grizzlies? We'll get to that next.
Breaking news where the Memphis Grizzlies have suspended